sometimes it's hard to read a book and understand it and apply what you've read into real life. So I made this video to cover the major concepts of the book Richest Man in Babylon. After the market crash in 2008, Ronnie and I had a lot of debt, along with like millions of other Americans. And I tried everything. I did the envelope system with Dave Ramsey. I read Susie Orman. I mean, just anything I could get my hands on. And there's nothing wrong with Dave Ramsey. He has a lot of great stuff, but that just did not work for me. For some reason, I could not seem to get ahead. And so I ended up stumbling across this book, and this century-old concept for some reason made sense to me, and I was able to implement it into my financial life. And in less than a year, we paid off 11 accounts. 7 of those were credit cards. And so in this video, I'm going to show you the basic concepts from the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. These are not my ideas. This is just how I applied it into my financial life. You can get your copy in the description. I'll put the link in there for you. I recommend reading this book and then watching this video again, and just keep it on hand, keep that book on hand and refer back to it. I usually every 6 months go back and reread some of these resources. And so basically the story is about a man who was deeply in debt, and it tells how he managed to pay off his debt and become the richest man in Babylon. He had gotten into a bind where he couldn't pay his rent. He could hardly make ends meet. He was having a hard time paying his debtors. So finally a friend told him what to do. He said, every time you get paid, put a coin in your money bag. And they called that gold babies. Pay your food and rent, your essentials, what you just have to have, and what is left, divide it up between your debtors. So the guy went to his debtors and he said, look, this is what the plan is. This is how I plan on paying you back. Some of them were happy about it. Some of them were understanding. Some of them were upset, but that was what he did. That was what he did every time he got paid, every time he made some money. And so then when the bag was full, he made gold grandbabies. And what I mean by that is he would take the money that he had put up in his bag and he would buy something at a lower price, sell it at a higher price. He would invest it, okay? He invested it and he made gold grandbabies. And the money that he made doing that, he would take and do the same thing with that money and make gold great grandbabies. And that was how he went from being in debt to becoming the richest man in Babylon. And so I took this concept and applied it to my finances, and I made like this little worksheet that I would sit down every time, and I still do this. Every time we make money, I will break it down just like this. And no, I'm not rich, beyond my wildest dreams or anything like that, but I have been able to pay off a lot of bad debt, and I've managed to start making gold great grandbabies, and I use these gold great grandbabies to pay some of my bills. And so, we're still in a process, but this is actually working for me. And it's taken me less than 2 years to get to this point. And what we were doing, this is what I call the circle of debt. This is what I was doing before. We would get a tax refund and we would pay our bills, and throughout the year, maybe we would use credit cards or get loans or something, just buying, spending. Maybe it was things that we had to have, and then when we got our tax refund, we would just pay those bills. And it was a circle. Every year it was the same thing over and over, and we just weren't ever getting ahead. And so I implemented this strategy, this concept from this book, and I took couple years ago, I took our refund money and I invested it. We bought something at a lower price, sold it for a higher price, and then we took the profits and did the same thing again. And that is how we made the gold great grandbabies. And that is how we try to pay our bills, is with the gold great grandbabies. So I'm going to put the link in the book in the description, and I'll put a link to download the free worksheet. If you have questions or you would like to share a book that maybe you have read, I go live every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, Facebook, Tillie Tink Tink. I would love for you to join me and share maybe your advice or your resources or any information that you would like to share with me and share with other people to help other people as well. So just look in the description and you can click the link there.